Dighton Rock, the 1,000-year-old rock in the United States, with the mysterious message. Which ancient civilization wrote this? A huge rock in Massachusetts, USA, that not only does not fit in with its surroundings, but it contains incredibly ancient inscriptions on the surface. Many have tried to unlock the highly controversial truths it hides about the scope and origins of the ancient civilization that created this. Dighton Rock is a 40-ton boulder that slid into the Taunton River during the melting of the ice during the last ice age. It seems to be widely accepted until this theory is overturned. It's 5 feet high, 9.5 feet wide, 11 feet long, and is composed of gray-brown crystalline sandstone. Apart from its size and uniqueness in relation to the area it was found or placed into, it's the petroglyphs on one of its 6 sides that have drawn the spotlight and inspired more than 1,000 books and articles, while they also created the database for more than 35 cases on this. The mystery of Dighton Rock began in 1680, when the Reverend John Danforth, who visited it, believed that the carvings on it were carved by Native Americans and were supposed to describe the story of a wooden house, that is, of a ship arriving and starting a battle between the locals and the newcomers. Later, in 1767, another case was made by Ezra Stiles, president of Yale College. Stiles claimed that the famous seafarers, the Phoenicians, had made it all the way to North America, or at least one of their voyages. The message they carved is supposed to be their statement that they got there. Much later, the Danish author Charles Christian Ramphne, in 1837, through 40 pages of analysis and explanation, considered that the inscriptions were definitely Norwegian. Thus, the rock became a Viking affair. At the beginning of the next century, in 1912, Edmund Burke Delabar, professor of psychology at Brown University, after studying the sculptures for several summers, concluded that they were Portuguese. In fact, this case was supported by the Portuguese government and the Portuguese population. And since then, many scholars, amateur archaeologists, students, and tourists have made the journey to visit this strange rock and try to decipher the signs, each giving their own interpretation or supporting some that have been suggested. So we'll try to give our own interpretation after noting first that Delabar had mentioned that this particular rock had some kind of hypnotic effect on people. In other words, it was something like the well-known Rorschach test, in which people tend to see what they want to see and believe. So that in our own imaginary case, we could claim that Ezra Stiles' opinion about the Phoenician origin of the sculptured elements is partly correct, as long as we admit that the so-called Phoenicians' alphabet came from the Epirotean Phoenicians, and from there things are simple. Too many facts, indications, and many hypotheses, such as the real voyage of Ulysses to the coasts of America, according to Arietta Mertz and Siegfried Petridis, show that the Greeks, a few millennia ago, and perhaps in the Ice Age, had the ability to travel across seas and oceans, and of course to distant countries, such as present-day America. Why could not the Phoenicians of Epirus have succeeded, declaring their presence through the sculptured letters on the Dighton Rock? Be that as it may, whatever the truth might be, the rock certainly hides behind it an ancient civilization that may have left no descendants. Nowadays, Dighton Rock is housed in a purpose-built museum to protect it from potential graffiti of tourists and visitors, but mostly from the elements of nature. This I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.